Welcome back to Your Fantasy Nerd. Today what we're going to talk about is the top 15 quarterbacks. And
one outside.
And one outside the top 15. So to start it out, we're going to go through our top 10 real quick, as you'll see on the screen here. Number 1, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Andrew Luck. Number 3, Russell Wilson. Number 4, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Number 5, Peyton Manning. 6, Matthew Stafford. Number 7, Matt Ryan. Number 8, Drew Brees. 9, Cam Newton. And rounding it out is Tony Romo. The first guy we're going to talk about is number 4, who we're all pretty high on, is Ben Roethlisberger. You don't see many analysts having him this high, but we collectively think he's going to be a great player. I know you like him a lot. What is your thought about him?
I got to say I like Big Ben a lot. I think Le'Veon Bell's coming around well in the passing game. Antonio Brown, great young receiver. Big Ben flourished last year, and I think he's as
5,000 plus passing yards. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and as Brown and Bell and this offense just progress another year, I think it's just going to be...
Don't forget Martavis Bryant.
Even better. And Martavis Bryant, great weapon.
Yeah, I just think I completely agree with him. Guys below him like Manning, Brees, Stafford, they all kind of had, they're all getting up there in age. Not Stafford, but the first two I named. That's the reason they're lower, is because of age, and they're just digressing. And I think someone like Big Ben, who's been in his prime for a little bit now, still in it. So I think he'll have a great season, especially with all those weapons.
I have Roethlisberger at 4. His weapons are unbelievable. Antonio Brown is my number 1 wide receiver. Martavis Bryant's a stud. Bell, he'll be out the first 2 games. Look for them even to pass more than they all either are a passing team. That's what they do, and then they work Bell in because their passing game is so solid that Bell just fits in so well with that offense.
Bell's a big part of that passing game,
yes,
too.
Yes, he is.
You have to remember
I think he was a top 5 in receptions for running backs, which is pretty impressive. And now at number 6, we're going to talk about Matthew Stafford, who just had a brutal season last year, let's be honest. That team offensively just was awful. Their defense...
Everyone thought their offense would win them games.
I know, it was their defense.
Their defense.
It was impressive, but now with Sue gone, you'll never know if they'll continue that. But anyway, with Stafford, I think the thing with Matthew Stafford is that he's really he's not a great quarterback, but he's in a system that allows him to be great because Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate,
Eric Ebron,
Joik Bell, he's got Amir Abdullah. I don't know how he'll be in the passing game, but I don't know. But
what do you think about Eric Ebron in the passing game?
I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a big part because I just don't think he just didn't seem like he did anything last year, so he's a great talent. But
very true.
Talking about Stafford, though, I think he'll be fine.
When you see a guy like Matthew Stafford, he's got a big arm, and all those tall receivers like Ebron, Calvin Johnson, I think they suit his style very well. I think he's going to have a great year. As Calvin Johnson comes back, I think Stafford will have a much better year this year, and I see him having another top 10 season. Good quarterback.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson hurt his ankle last year, so that was part of the reason why he... they had no receivers last year. It was just Golden Tate. That was the only receiver basically the whole season. Reggie Bush was out a lot, so that was their problem. But now we're going to look at 11 through 15 as well as someone else. We'll get to that. But number 11, Tom Brady. Obviously, with his suspension, without the suspension, he'd be higher. But number 12, Colin Kaepernick. 13, Eli Manning. 14, Phillip Rivers. 15, Sam Bradford. And then we have a spot reserved for Ryan Tannehill, who someone on this desk is going to rant about. So, anyway, at number 12, Colin Kaepernick.
Hate him.
Yeah. On this, we're not fans of him. I know you might be. I don't know.
I'm not fan. I don't think anyone who's a 49ers fan is happy with anything that's happened this offseason.
Yeah.
Retirements, free agent signings, Torrey Smith getting way overpaid.
Harbaugh
gone.
Yeah.
I think when you look at his fantasy potential, it's up there, and he's our 12th quarterback, so he's probably not your first quarterback, but he's a good guy to have on your bench. He's a good guy when you have your quarterback is bye week or if they're playing a tough defense, because he has the potential to be. We see what he can do, running the football and passing the football. So I just like him with the potential there. He's still extremely athletic, and we've seen him make the plays. We'll see if he can do it this year, but I think he has the potential to be a good backup quarterback.
I have him at 16. My concern are...
I understand that.
My concerns are the wide receivers.
Yeah. I just think that...
Torrey Smith overpaid. He had a few good weeks here and there in Baltimore with Flacco. I think Flacco's a much better quarterback than Kaepernick. Kaepernick obviously didn't have a good year last year. Bolden went to their number 2. Vernon Davis had an absolutely brutal year. And I just don't see... I think for him to be good, he has to run the ball like he did when he had those 2 good years when they went to the Super Bowl. He was running the ball out of the spread offense and throwing the ball, which opened up the middle of the field.
Enough said. At number 13, we have Eli Manning. Obviously, he's got the weapons. There's no doubt about it. He's going to have Cruz, Beckham, Larry Donnell. I think the question is just, does he keep throwing the picks? He's done it all his career, so why not again? So that's the fear I have with him. I don't think he's gonna be a quarterback 1 for you, but if you can get him in a 2 quarterback league, he's fine. I know you like him, but
I think last 4 games, I think he was 13 touchdowns to 1 interception, something like that.
He played much better at the end.
Which is a good sign for him. And I think people are getting a little bit, they're not huge fans of him in New York. They're kind of getting impatient with him. And I think that's good for him. He plays his best football when he's under pressure. Look at his Super Bowl runs. Whenever he's there and needs to make plays, he does. And that's why I think he's under pressure. He's going to have a pretty solid year. He's got tons of weapons. You got Victor Cruz, who was hurt a little bit last year. Hopefully he'll be back and healthy. And then you got, obviously, Odell Beckham, a great talent. So I think he's going to have a good shot at being pretty good this year.
Where do you have him ranked?
I'm sitting just inside my top 10. I think people forget when they see Eli Manning, who Eli Manning really is, like what he's done. Just because the past few years he hasn't been as good, he's still a good, high caliber quarterback, and I think we're going to see that type of.
I have him rounding out my top 15. I have him at number 15.
I think I had him at 14. So
all I have to say is Victor Cruz. He has him and Odell Beckham, and
that is, yeah.
And then you saw what the weeks that Donnell put up. He put up good numbers in weeks. He's a good red zone target. I think the running game with Rashard Jennings and Andre Williams is pretty solid. I think that
Shane Vereen too. Don't forget that.
They did get Shane Vereen, which will help the passing game a lot. Shane Vereen, one of the best receiving backs. You saw that in New England, how they used him. He was an integral part of their offense.
Yeah.
So I think he could be much. I have him at 15. He could probably be a top 10 quarterback. He's obviously got the potential. He's got the targets. He's got all he needs.
Yeah. And then rounding out our top 15, Sam Bradford being traded from St. Louis to Philadelphia for straight up Nick Foles.
I'm rooting for this guy.
Here's what I'd like to say about Sam Bradford. I have no idea why I put him in my top 15, but Chip Kelly does. Chip Kelly traded for him, and I gotta tell you, Chip Kelly knows what he is doing. That if there's one thing I know that Chip Kelly knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
And if he sees something,
Tim Tebow,
if he sees something that he likes in Bradford, he's going to play him. I have full confidence that Bradford will be a top 15 favorite.
I'm rooting for Bradford. I think it's unfortunate. He has got a lot of talent. Injuries, obviously, both ACLs. Feel bad for the guy. I'm rooting for him. Don't know how he'll do at the Eagles. I think Mark Sanchez had a very good year last year for them. And I don't know if you're an Eagles fan how you can say don't start Mark Sanchez. He did. He played well enough for you to win games. He had some bad decisions. His interceptions were still up there for him, but he played very well. I think Bradford I think he's got potential to be an absolute stud, but I want him to stay healthy, but injuries are always a part of his life, and how's he going to react?
Yeah, I mean, you look at...
He hasn't played football in, 2 years?
Yeah.
Played.
It's obviously the injuries are a question, but I just think whatever quarterback ends up in Philadelphia always ends up being a fine quarterback, if not a great quarterback. Vic, Foles, we saw Sanchez, so that offense...
That was an interesting swap, Foles for Bradford, basically.
Clearly, I don't know who started that deal.
And we all know that everyone in the Eagles organization and fans of the Eagles were wondering what they're doing, and Chip Kelly can run a good offense, so I agree with Seidels over there.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I don't love Bradford. I have him at 15. So.
He's a question mark.
Yeah. I
can't imagine they'd trade Foles for him if he wasn't going to start.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and then the last guy we're going to talk about is Ryan Tannehill, who we'll just put at 16, but you're going to go.
He's 10 on my list.
Okay.
I think Miami struck gold with his deal, 4 years, $77 million, 45 of that.
6 years, wasn't it?
No, 4 years, and he got 45 of that guaranteed. They brought over Kenny Stills for him. They got Greg Jennings. They drafted Devontae Parker, who I love. I think this guy's going to have a great year, top 10, maybe even slip into that 6 to 7 range. I think he'll be a stud. I think people say losing Charles Clay. They got Jordan Cameron, who was a stud, 3 years ago with the Browns. Injuries have been an issue for him. I think if Jordan Cameron can stay healthy, that would help the offense a lot. And I think that division's much improved, and I think Tannehill will strive, actually. He'll have a great year, and I love him, top 10.
Yeah, with him, he was actually the 8th fantasy quarterback last year, which surprises a lot of people. You didn't hear much about him. He usually wasn't a starter on most teams. But he didn't lose any receivers, or actually he lost Mike Wallace, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah,
Mike
no,
Wallace
not
is
at all.
completely worthless to that team. But they got Jarvis Landry back. They're adding.
Oh, I
Cameron.
forgot to mention him.
Yeah.
He's going to be a stud.
Yeah,
He's a sleeper.
Yeah, he is. So I just think he's in a great situation. I believe I had him at 11 or 12, maybe. So I think
Every team in that division is upgraded, and I think Miami obviously upgraded. Got Sue, and then you got Buffalo getting McCoy. The Patriots is the only team that didn't upgrade. So I think that may be one of the best divisions besides the Seahawks division. So
Yeah, maybe.
what do you think about Tannehill's titles?
I think Tannehill's been pretty solid throughout his NFL career. A lot of people, there was such a good rookie class. He came in, Luck, Griffin. People often overlooked what Tannehill did, and also Wilson came in that rookie class. So 3 great quarterbacks. I mean, Griffin hasn't been as great, but he had a great rookie year. Tannehill was
And
often
Luck.
Yeah, he said.
Tannehill was often overlooked, but he's starting to come to more of the forefront. And you see Miami, I think they really show confidence with that.
Almost made the
signing.
playoffs last year too.
Yeah, they had a good year. They showed confidence with that signing, and I think he'll respond by really stepping into that role as a leader.
And I think
he's gonna have
Miami
a pretty
will
good
be a
fantasy
playoff
year.
team this year.
I think he's going to have a pretty good fantasy
team
year.
over New England.
I think they'll be I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tight. New England will not
Buffalo
win
too.
outright.
Don't sleep on Buffalo.
That whole division besides the Jets, because
Jets.
the Jets don't have an offense,
Yeah.
but because they got Geno.
Yeah, that'll wrap it up for our quarterback rankings. Leave a comment. Give us your thoughts on what you think.
Don't forget to subscribe.
As always, and check us out at yourfantasynerd.com. See you later, folks.
Watch out.